I'm Libby and welcome to today's episode of the Property Pod. Today I'm joined by Stephen, who is an independent estate agent based in Suffolk. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for coming.
Hi Libby.
Thank you. And he is also a member of the EXP network. And today we're going to discuss the property market for the rest of 2024 and 2025. So thanks so much for coming.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you. So can you start by telling us a little bit about your background and about your business?
Yeah, so I've been in the property industry for 31 years this year. I started way back when Woolwich Property Services was an estate agent, so that will date me ever so slightly. And I pretty much spent most of my career in the corporate estate agency world. So I was a negotiator to start with, became a branch manager. That was kind of in Norfolk and Suffolk. And there are really two parts to being an estate agent. You're either a negotiator or you're a valuer. And I really enjoyed the valuing side of it. So I'd go out to people's properties and talk through with them what their next move was, what were they moving, what were they wanting to move to, was it affordable, all those kinds of things. And then in the second half of my career, I became an area manager within the corporate estate agency world. And then up until last year, I was a director for one of the larger corporates, and then struck out on my own last year and set up my own estate agency.
Ah, exciting, great, good to hear. And what are your general predictions for the housing market in 2024 and 2025?
I think it's going to be a really interesting year in 2024. Obviously, we've just had the election. Pretty much every major party had something big that they were promising about the property market. I think Labour's promises, I think were, for an awful lot of people, just as attractive as everything else that was on the table. So, I think traditionally, my experience is, whether it's the economic climate or whether it's COVID a few years ago, I think people in the UK tend to sit on their hands maybe for a few months. I wonder what's going to happen next, and then eventually we kind of just get on with it. Is my experience. I think we've passed the we're just going to get on with it phase. The property market tail end of last year was certainly the quietest that I've experienced in 30 years, and it seems to have gradually started to a little bit more confidence has returned.
Yeah, for sure. And do you think that the property market in the rest of 2024 and 2025 is going to be more of a buyer's market or a seller's market?
I think it's still leaning perhaps a little bit more towards being a buyer's market at the moment. There's year on year, Rightmove tells us that there's something like a 15% increase in buyers, but there's closer to I think a 20 or 25% increase in properties coming to market year on year. I think this time last year, if I remember right, there was something like 450,000 properties on the market. It's close to 600,000 on the market right now. So I think it's gonna it feels like it could start to even out. We're starting to get lots of the lenders now starting to lower their mortgage rates, and that kind of creates more confidence in the buying and selling market.
Okay, and how do you think buyers and sellers should prepare for these market conditions?
Yeah, I think it's make sure that you've got the funds behind you. You'd be surprised how many people will start viewing properties and doing the I'd like to go and have a look at that. What if we could afford this, without really looking into it? There's the danger sometimes is that there seems to be a division within the property industry in the UK between organisations that are quite pushy about using their ancillary services like mortgage advisors and solicitors and what have you, and then there are perhaps those of us like myself that as long as people can confirm that they've got a mortgage agreement in principle, that's really all that I need to be able to let my client know.
And are there any particular regions or types of properties that you expect to see more significant value change for that?
Yeah, the first-time buyer end of the market seems to be having markedly more action. If I market properties all across, the price range, everything from kind of one-bedroom shared ownership apartments all the way up to properties at 1.3, 1.5 million. it seems to be that the really high end are still selling well. I think because lots of people that buy those are very often cash rich, and the bottom end of the market seems to be continuing to move. I think the biggest change we're going to see is going to be the 3-bedroom semi-detached, the 3-bedroom detached, the mid-market, so to speak, because you're going to have people that are selling those smaller properties to move up into those, and you're going to have other people kind of downsizing. Perhaps the kids have left and gone to university. I'm certainly doing a lot more viewings with first-time buyers and a lot more viewings with empty nesters. People that are looking to downsize for whatever reason. So that seems to be a trend.
Oh, right. Okay, great. And what advice do you have for sellers looking to maximise their property's value in 2024 and 2025?
Yeah, stage it.
Yeah.
Yeah, stage it. Make sure that you really think about how you want to present your home. It really makes a massive difference. I've certainly found that I think with it across most social media, TikTok, Instagram, or the gram as my son tells me it's called. There's a lot more I think knowledge out there, and people are really listening to the wider media about, hey, look, if you want to try and maximise the money that's tied up in your property, you need to make sure that you're presenting it as well as you can. And I get much more the way I market properties. I use a 360-degree camera. It's 4K, so it sees everything.
Wow, yeah.
I tend to have that conversation with my clients. Just this camera is going to see everything, so make sure that whatever you leave out is what you want you're happy with people seeing, I suppose. And I get many more of my clients asking my advice. If you're coming around on Saturday, Steve, to prepare the property for marketing, take the images and the virtual tour and floor plan and everything, what do we need to do? And certainly compared to maybe 3 or 4 years ago, people kind of, I think in a more buoyant market, it's less relevant because there's fewer properties. It's very much a seller's market. In a buyer's market, you have to stand out from the crowd. It's why I've kind of chosen the route that I have with my marketing, but also I think people recognise that more now.
For sure. And how can estate agents help sellers navigate the market?
Yeah, I think it's really just understand, don't treat everybody the same. I think the danger in any kind of a sales environment is to treat every single person that walks through your front door, or in our case as estate agents whose doors you walk through, the same. There's somebody that wants to buy a house, there's somebody that wants to sell a house, and the reality is everybody's different. Everybody's got a different reason for it. And I think we as estate agents have to spend more time listening than my dad used to say, 2 of these, 1 of these. Yeah. For those of you that are listening and not watching that, I just point to my ears and my mouth. But just listen to your clients, understand their motivation, their needs more, and then I think most estate agents with a good amount of experience should then be able to kind of guide their client through the experience better.
For sure. And how do personal service agents maintain strong client relationships in a rapidly changing market, do you think?
I can really only tell you from my own perspective on that. I've chosen to some agents within the same network as me call it personal estate agency. I really like the word bespoke. I think it sounds really posh. So I've gone the bespoke route, where I think the danger sometimes in any sales environment, especially when you've got people that want to earn money and want to be successful, is to over encumber yourself. Kind of list as many houses as you can, sell as many houses as you can. And if you're only one person or if you're a small team, I think it happens gradually enough that I think it's really easy for you not to notice your service levels declining. And that's probably, it's not been hard, but it's something that I've had to work on, making sure that I maintain that I only really look after maybe 21 or 22, sometimes 23 properties for sale at any one time. Probably about the same the same amount sold as well. I know that with my experience with those volumes and knowing that every client's going to have different needs, I know that I can still maintain that one-on-one service. I think that if I had a client, an old client of mine asked me what's been the biggest surprise since I started up, and it was excuse me, it was how when you start a business, you have a business plan, and if you've done any job for long enough, you kind of go, I know that if I do this, that I know that's what people want. It's all right knowing it, but then is it going to happen or not? Are the market forces with you or against you? Have you made a mistake? Have you completely called it wrong? And the response from all of my clients since I've launched has just been phenomenal. They seem to have really they've been yearning for that kind of one-on-one service. And a lot of people have been, estate agents have a bad name, sadly. Some of the time correctly earned, even more sadly. But I think if you do what you say you're going to do, and you make sure that you don't over-encumber yourself with workload, I don't think it's deliver on what you say you're going to do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, that's great. Thank you so much for coming in today. It's been great to speak to you. Thank you.
Great to meet you.
And for all you guys at home, if you did enjoy this episode, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.